Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
Hey, there we go. Welcome to show number 2786. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, Woman Fox, and my cock. Hey, Jimmy, all right, the men's room. On tap today, Ryan Castle's A Drunken Charge is into Sit and Spin. We go back 30 years for the top 10 songs in the USA. Return of Ask the Men's Room. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shout of the Day, fun listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack.
Drinkity drunk. All right, here we go. Florida man's dog attacks another dog at dog park, so Florida man beats the other owner's ass too. Meanwhile, another Florida man fights with his girlfriend, and his nickname is Captain Goo. To Memphis, where 5 women in an IHOP decide to beat the manager's ass. An Australian brewery, according to Redheads, lacks grace and some class. And if you live in Austin, don't open anything. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. Listen, bodily functions, they are a way of life. Burping, farting, pooping, peeing, sneezing, coughing. It happens to all of us. But the one bodily function that everyone hates is puking. Puking is only the result of something very bad happening to you, and it's never enjoyable. At this past Winter Olympics in South Korea, norovirus, well, it made an appearance. It infected 199 people. These 199 people puked their brains out for days. To put it in perspective, norovirus is also known as, quote, the winter vomiting bug. Earlier this month, a passenger jet. It was landing at Dulles Airport in Washington, D.C. It experienced high winds during its descent. The landing was so turbulent that virtually every person on the plane, pilots included, ended up puking. Over the St. Patrick's Day weekend, I'm sure plenty of us puked, but a guy in Pennsylvania, he was pulled over for DUI, which is not that shocking given the holiday, but the reason the cops pulled him over is because he was leaning his head out of the window, spewing out of it while driving down the road. These cops were not detectives, but 1 + 1 = 2. So, yeah, they pulled him over, got him with the DUI. We have a story about international soccer superstar Lionel Messi. Nice. Apparently, he had a bit of a puking problem for years when he was playing. We'll get to that in a second. But look, everyone has a tale of upchucking, retching, losing their cookies. And today, for better or worse, we want to hear those stories. So our question is, what is your infamous puke story?
Hey, Pro Big Show, call 844-999-OLA. You can like The Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to themensroom@mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Give me one of those. On the shows, and away we go. Welcome to show number 2786. What a large and in charge show we have for you today. Is Ryan Castle, the drunk in charge, coming in to sit and spin as we go back 30 years to 1982 for the top 10 songs in the US of A. Actually, it's not 1982. It would be 1988.
So wait, here's the problem with Castle. He's not good at math.
No, he's not.
Is he doing the songs from 1982 and he thought it was 30 years, or did he say we're actually doing it from 30 years ago?
We're doing it from 30 years ago today, which in his mind somehow translated into 1982. And then after a little bit of thought, he was like, 1988. Okay, to be honest with you. So we're going to go back in time and
to 2012.
Give you the top 10 songs in the USA from 30 years ago today on Sit and Spin with Ryan Castle. Also, the return of Ask the Men's Room. We'll drink a toast with the shout of the day. Another round of Profile This coming coming up. And we'll talk today about puking. And no matter how the situation is, when you start getting the mouth sweats and you're in one of those situations, you know it's coming. Mm-hmm. You know there's not much you can do about it. And unlike holding in a sneeze or something which you can occasionally be successful at, when it's time to go, it's time to go when you need to puke. And the worst is when the mouth starts sweating and you just know, look, it's going to have to happen. The good news is, as opposed to being sick in a number of other different ways, when you puke, it tends to relieve all of that problem that you are having, and you can kind of somehow get your crap together a little bit better.
But that's what makes it so awful. Like, if you have to poop, maybe you can hold it for a while, right? Your body gives you an indication. If you need to, people go camping and hold it for 3 days. If you got to pee, there's a time limit, but as an adult, you can do pretty well. Once you get the mouth sweats, it's like, look, you have about a 20-second window, right? I mean, because this is going to happen. You have just enough time to figure out where you're going to do it, but it's going to happen. And the reason you get so much relief after you puke is because I feel like when you puke, so many things have gone so wrong in your body.
Yeah.
It just expels it all at once. And it's the worst feel. You're right. I mean, you feel better when you're done, but the process is the worst of them all.
Sure. You ever have like the bungee puke?
What do you mean? Oh, as soon as you swallow something.
I just had a phase where there was a couple liquors where I was like, I can't drink it. It's going to make me puke.
Right away.
Yeah.
Tequila,
you know that's better, man. It sucks.
And then as soon as you throw it down, like it comes right back up. Mm-hmm. And I'm not positive if that's real or just a mental thing.
But it's happened to everybody, man.
Yeah. I started puking early on when I was a kid. The roads were real windy.
Most of us start.
There was a lot of switchbacks. But it was
my kids have crossed that threshold. Yeah.
It's like
they're adults now.
But then it was different because you couldn't.
It was not different puking in our day.
You couldn't see out the window of the car. There weren't all 4-lane highways where I lived, so there was switchback roads. It was 2-lane. Like you were flying across the back end of the seat.
Sure.
You would just get. It was just like it was just motion sickness, basically.
Well, yeah, you didn't have to wear a seatbelt.
Right.
It was one solid seat in the back.
And it was, like, look, you're going to pull over and we're going to throw up a couple times anyway. I mean, it was just kind of expected. I don't know, when I was a kid driving. It was, whether it was my brother, my sister, yeah. I mean, in West Virginia, they didn't have a lot of highways. So when you got on 2-lane roads, man, they just started to get really just disgustingly sickening to your, and to this day, I still have a problem with motion sickness. But I have figured something out. About as far as being on the water is concerned. Now, I could be on somebody's sailboat, right? Mm-hmm. I could be on a small sailboat. I could be on a jet ski. I could be on any kind of smaller watercraft or even a bigger watercraft or whatever and never get sick. I can keep my feet on a ferry, no problem with that. Walking around, absolutely no problem. However, if for some reason you put a fishing pole in my hand and I am on a fishing boat, I will throw up. About 99% of the time. And I don't know what it is. Like if you say, like, let's get a charter boat, we'll go out half a day. The kind where you just drop the line straight into the water.
Yeah.
Like not one where you're out like fishing for marlin and tuna. Those make me throw up too. But for whatever reason, man, whenever I get on a boat, get a fishing line, a pole in my hand, I'm going to throw up.
But you love fishing.
I do love fishing.
And this is the problem.
But it's going to make me throw up every single time. And it doesn't matter if I drink beforehand or I drink during the thing. Two things are going to happen. I'm probably going to have to take a dump out there, and I'm definitely going to throw up.
I would rather poop at sea than puke. Again, because when I poop, it's just pooping. I do it every day. Your body does it a few times a day. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. It means that things are right. And I know it's not the ideal situation. Like,
well, you're not supposed to really poop on a boat is the problem.
I was going to say, man,
poop over the edge, man. I'm pooping into the water. I'm not pooping on your boat.
I don't think.
Why would you think that if I'm on your boat and I said I have to poop, I'm going to poop in the corner of your boat? I'm going to hang my head.
The little box squat toilet.
Right.
I'm pooping off the boat, man.
Which generally I agree with you, but Miles will attest to this. Sometimes when you're fishing, even though you're in like a bay or a sound or something, like everybody's kind of fishing in the same area.
Right.
I know, but I gotta poop.
I know, but no one wants your chumming. Like,
no, I understand.
I'd rather puke off a boat than have to poop off the side.
Really? No question.
Yeah.
No question.
It's just, man, I just hate puking. You know, it's never pleasurable. You've had poops where you're like, even in the process, you're like, this feels great. Like, this is one for the ages. I'm glad this is happening. The experience, the sensation, it's wonderful, you know. When you puke, I've never thought that. Not one time have I thought, oh, yeah, this is.
See, I have before.
When it's done, when I'm
all right,
done.
So here's my 3-part of puking, right? Like, if you start to get nauseous, it's like, I wish I could puke, right?
I want it over with. Sure.
Then you start puking, you go, I wish it could be over. And then you're like, I'm glad I puked.
Right.
No doubt.
I think my worst.
But when I'm pooping, I'm like, ooh, I have to poop, right? And then when I sit down to do it, like, there's no stress. It's just It feels great.
My all-time, I think, the story that haunted me after puking was I went to a TGI Fridays after work one day, and it was happy hour.
Are they paying for this story?
No, I couldn't stay for very long, but somebody we were working with was leaving, retiring, or whatever. It's a happy hour, so I got to go real quick, but I got to get home. I got to get my kids from daycare, blah, blah, blah. So I get there, and I have one Coors Light, Miller Lite, whatever the domestic draft was at the time. I did not get a big mug. I just got a pint of beer, and they had the Jack Daniels menu going on at the time, which I was a fan of. They had like Jack Daniels grilled shrimp, Jack Daniels chicken wings, ribs, all covered in their Jack Daniels delicious barbecue seasoning sauce, right? So
it's a barbecue sauce.
I started mowing into that. Now, in the time, they did do one shot of tequila, which was probably like Jose Cuervo or whatever it was.
And
it was gasoline. But at the time, I still was able to drink. And within the course of an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, one shot of one beer is not going to get me in any trouble. So I eat, we have a good time. I'm like, all right, I got to go because I got to go pick up my kids. I get in the car and I start driving around the Beltway, and I'm on the west side of Baltimore, and I start getting the mouth sweats. And then I start getting the sweats. Now, one thing I know is I'm not drunk.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna take a crap in my car. And I had cloth seats too, which, like this is
your
not
first
good.
thought is you're gonna poop in your car.
I know I've got food poisoning. Like this is coming out. Like I know what I've got, and now I'm just sweating. And I roll down the window, man, and I'm kind of doing that thing where I got my head out the window. I'm like, I cannot believe it. Like that happened that quick. Like I am getting sick fast. So I think I can make it, and I get down to like Glen Burnie or someplace, and all of a sudden I don't even know what happened. It just goes, bah. And I mean, it just comes out of me.
Right.
And there was no warning. It just shot out of my mouth and completely covered the inside of my window, my steering wheel, and the dashboard, which I'm like, oh God. And I can smell the tequila. And I'm like, if I stop, there's also...
And I'm going to pick up my kids from daycare.
And also barbecue Jack Daniels. I'm like, oh, God. So I think I grabbed some napkins out of the glove compartment. I kind of wiped the inside down a little bit. I'm like, I'm not stopping, because if I stop and a cop pulls behind me, the whole inside of this car is covered in tequila and Jack Daniels sauce. This is not good. Like, I'm pretty sure I can pass a breathalyzer, no problem, but this is not a good situation. So I keep on driving, and I drive home first. I go inside, I change my clothes, I clean out the inside of the car. I can't get everything off the inside of the car, but I clean out the majority of the car. So this is like this is like, it's in the summer, it's in the beginning of fall, whatever. So anyway, I pick up my kids, some time passes, I don't know what the hell the deal is. The first freeze of the year, I have to put on my defroster. And I knew a lot of the puke had gotten down into that into that hole, but I didn't know. I don't think I knew the extent of what was going to happen when I turned the heater on one morning, and I completely. I mean, it smelled like a rat had died in my car. I turned on the heat, man, and the heat just started blasting, and I'm like. And immediately I could smell the Jack Daniels wings, and I could smell the Jose Cuervo, and I'm like, oh God. I mean, it was in the morning, and I threw up again, man, because I was like, oh my God, like, how do I get that out of there? But I still need the defrost, because I can't see, you know what I mean? And it was like, that's why it kind of came back to haunt me, because then it was just, I could never get it took forever, and that was my Geo Prism, you know how much I love that thing. So like, I couldn't, anytime I turned on the defroster for any reason, like, sometimes you have that rainy period where you just kind of defrost the inside, you can't figure out how to get the right temperature and all that stuff. It was just, anytime I had to turn that thing on, it just smelled like Fridays.
Right.
I puked in a cooler once and left it outside in the summertime.
Oh.
For how long?
It was a solid 2 weeks before.
Oh, God.
Oh,
yeah. Well, dude,
Did you just throw it away?
No.
Come on, man.
It was my brother's cooler. I had to clean
it.
He was like, you're cleaning that cooler.
And you just didn't do it.
Basically, because I puked in it, right? I was like a high schooler. I completely forgot about it. Then he went to use it and was like, I know it was you.
Oh, man.
You cleaned that damn cooler.
I told you, man. Today in Fremont, there was even more puke. It's still out there from
St. Patrick's Day, man.
It's unbelievable.
Well, that's the
how
horror.
Much puke is out there.
That's the horror of the pickleback. When you're drinking whiskey and doing picklebacks.
What is the pickleback?
The pickle juice.
Oh, come on.
It dehydrates
You're begging for it.
Right. But you can't feel your mouth watering.
Oh, so it just comes out?
There's absolutely zero warning.
Really?
Yes.
That's a big thing in Montana, isn't it? The pickleback shot, is that where that originated from?
Get a bunch of dudes under 25. It's a big.
Okay.
It doesn't need to be done.
This is a horrible story. This is just at the beginning of this month. Winds that lashed the East Coast, part of a powerful nor'easter. I don't know if that was 1, 2, 3, or the fourth one.
I think this was 2.
Maybe this was the second one in the last 4 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever it was. The one that flooded streets in Boston, grounded flights, knocked out power for about 1.8 million people. Anyway, at the storm's height, winds exceeded 50 miles an hour and forced airlines to cancel around 3,000 flights, to give you an idea how bad it was. Unfortunately for passengers aboard a flight that landed at Dulles in Virginia, the high winds were so bad that, according to the pilot, as he wrote to the National Weather Service, pretty much everyone on the plane threw up. Even the pilots were on the verge of throwing up amid what they described as a very bumpy descent. And if you've ever flown into that airport, there's not a lot of mountains blocking too much stuff. It's just kind of out there, and it's windy, and you've had a bad landing before. But, I mean, granted, there's a reason why, as far as society is concerned, the only places that are equipped with puke bags for you to puke in at any time
a plane,
or in
guaranteed.
An airplane. But you, in all the years that I've been in an airplane, I've never seen anyone puke in a bag.
No, they try to go to the bathroom.
I've never seen anybody. I've not seen. Not that people haven't been sick or whatever, but I've never seen anyone use one of those bags before. I know there's a reason for them to be there. I can't imagine how bad that. First of all, I think everyone thinks they're going to die, right?
I think more than, ooh, my stomach's upset. Yeah, I believe they thought their life was coming to an end.
This was bigger than just, turbulence. Because at that point in time, if you're throwing up, then you're like nervous, nauseous. Like it's like, oh God. Like I think it'd be like if someone put a gun to your head, you might poop yourself. You know what I mean?
Right. I didn't have to go to the bathroom, but in this moment, I relieve myself. So yeah, I understand why they're puking.
Yeah, because you think you're going to die.
Or maybe, I think it could have just been that bad too.
I think it's both, but I think, look, if you thought you were going to survive it, you would do everything you can to not puke, because then you're that person to puke. But I think if it's that bad and you think you're going to die, it's like, I'm just going to puke. That said, if you're in a situation, you're on a plane, all right, and you think you're going to die, it also happens to be bumpy and you have to puke, are you going to take the time to use the puke bag?
I don't know.
Like, are you honestly
going to die?
I mean, think about it. It's like, I think I'm going to die, but I don't want to leave a mess. I mean, like, no one's using a puke bag if you think you're going to be dead. I'm going to spew on the person in front of me and be like, I'd apologize, but we're going to die.
Yeah, but if you really thought it through and you knew you were going to die at that point in time, you should come up with a better thing to do. Like, you know what, man? Let's just go back to the beverage cart and drink like 5 of those things.
Something. Try to slam them down.
I like your theory, but I'm with Thrill, right? Like, I think I'm going to die. This is horrible turbulence. I'm puking all over. I'm probably screaming something.
Woman next to me,
but I'm not grabbing a puke bag.
Yeah.
You want to kiss one last time? Let's do it.
Like one last, how about one first time?
Nope, I'm not even want to do that. I just want to die.
I'd rather die, sir. Last words you hear.
What is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA.
How about you, fella?
Right before
I just want to kiss
I just want to kiss a man one time before I die. Let's do this.
And the plane lands safely.
And then he pukes in my mouth.
Then things got awkward when everyone survived.
Oh, now I'm just picturing some random dude next to me like, I just want to kiss a man once.
Ask him.
Yeah.
Did you find out you have like basically the same bag at the carousel? Sir, that's fine.
Oh, my. Hello, Cody. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so now it's just a little young buck. I was at a family gathering, and once all the parents went and did their thing, there was an older cousin that was drinking beer with all of her friends, so we decided to try to outdrink her. It was a competition. So I was really young. I probably got like 6 beers into it and started getting mouth sweats, went to go lay down. Well, now I'm at the point where I'm going to puke. It's coming out. And so my stepbrother runs inside the room, tries picking me up, keeps on just like squeezing my stomach. And the bathroom has 2 doors. So my cousin ran around the other side. By the time he opened up the door, I sprayed the entire bathroom with vomit. I mean, I had seafood earlier. There was shrimp everywhere. There's people on the ceiling, the tub, and the sink, on the walls, and not one single drop got on the toilet.
Yeah, that's...
It's impressive that you missed the toilet entirely but got everything else. But let me ask you this. You bring up the fact you had seafood so you could identify the shrimp, etc. Have you thought to yourself, and it's a weird side thought, but like you're puking, you feel like crap, and as you look at everything coming out of your mouth, you start thinking like, man, you really have to chew better. Like, I can't believe you swallowed that big. Like, you almost start doubting your own ability to chew food.
Or you're just really hungry. You must have eaten really fast.
Yeah,
maybe.
Like half bit and shrimp everywhere.
I don't know. I always get judgmental. I hate to even tell the story. I do. It's not me puking. It was a woman puking. I will not go through the entire process. But we're in our early 20s, so Mad Dog is more on the menu than anything else you're going to drink. And it was a big party, but it was at the place I lived. And her and I go up to my bedroom, and she was not the most attractive woman on earth, but at that point...
You weren't the most handsome man either.
Let me tell you something. Mad Dog 2020, the 2020 is not for your vision. But at any point, she looked great that night, right? So we go in my room, and she's performing, if you will. Okay.
Right.
And then I kind of see her retch, which, yes, is an ego blow. I understand. But we're both hammered, and she puts her hand over her mouth, and I'm starting to back away because I understand what's about to happen. Dude, and she spews directly into my groin, okay?
If it wasn't disgusting enough already.
No, directly into my groin. And I just remember it was very warm. It smelled like Mad Dog. But the thing that bothered me most, and it's a fleeting thought.
Strawberry Jubilee.
As I look down, and I can feel it dripping down the back of my sack, it's like this all-encompassing, and it's the only area, but here's the thing about chewing your food. I just remember looking down, because I kind of have my hands out, kind of like the what the F pose, you know what I mean? So my hands are out, I look down, and I just remember seeing like a...
Oh, well, at least she was eating healthy.
Well, the kind of, you see, like if you went to... That's the thing I thought, like... And I know this is a terrible thought, but it was a fleeting thought, and it was very quick.
Probably coleslaw or something. Based
on her size, and I see this carrot sliver, I'm like, she's eating salad? Very fleeting thought, but yeah, it was... I even hate to... No, honest to God, dude, but that's what I remember most is there's a carrot sliver in my pubic hair. Aside from all the puke, I can identify a carrot sliver in my pubic hair.
What is your infamous puke story? 844-999. Hola, hold the line where your call's on the way. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bichola. You have entered the men's room.
Oh, 30-year-old guy named Michael Bello from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, got drunk early on St. Paddy's Day. Then he made the bad decision to try to drive, but he was caught when he was going down the road, and cops spotted him leaning his head out of the window as he was driving to throw up. Every time he'd do that, he'd swerve a little, and sometimes he'd swerve into oncoming traffic, so cops pulled him over, and he was arrested for DUI, and his mugshot is...
he looks like a guy that just puked.
He is... you know what, I've been guilty of opening the door and puking out of a car. 21st birthday, maybe.
Were you driving, though?
Oh, no. One other time.
Exactly.
One other time I did it. Then after that, one time I did it in my own car while driving. But that was it. I've been on a good run of not... Most of the time I've been...
is it a good run, or is it just a normal life, man?
It's a good run.
I think it's a good run. I think I've been on a good run. Yeah. So we don't live a normal life.
I think after 20 years, you can go, all right. It's normal life. But if it hasn't been 20 years, you're on a good run.
Yeah, I mean, right.
In that case, I'm on a good run, sure.
I do the best I can. Like, I haven't ruined anything lately. I haven't got drunk on vacation to the point where I threw up. Most of the time when I think about my throw-up stories, it has nothing to do with drinking. Like, that's one thing. I have matured to the point where I don't get to the point where I'm so drunk that I throw up. However, I throw up when I'm not drunk more often than I used to.
Yeah.
So that's the real problem. Like, I've been getting more sick lately. It's just like, oh, God, I got to throw up. And then I'm like, it's both sides. It's more of a norovirus thing for me when I get sick.
But see, with that, I feel like that's completely out of your control. You know, there's nothing you did.
Right.
It's just something that happened.
What is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA.
Hello. God damn it. Hello, Shabria. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. Your name sounds like something I would say when I stub my toe, but the kids are around. Shabria.
Oh, my gosh.
It sounds like something that you spritz on something to make it smell better.
Shabria.
Shabria.
You got that funk?
Oh,
Spray some Shabria.
Smells like stripper and vanilla.
Shabria. Or a new car from, like, Daewoo. Try the new Daewoo Shabria.
Look, it's got 5 places to plug a phone in.
5 places.
All right, so where did you puke there?
All right, so a few years ago when I was still in high school, it was time for a final presentation. And all I had that morning was a Frappuccino or whatever. I don't remember what I ate the night before, but that's probably where I got the food poisoning from. And my stomach just started bubbling. I'm like, oh, so I just got to hit the bathroom real quick. Talk to my teacher, head to the bathroom, and then I start getting the mouth sweats. So I'm on the toilet.
Also, you have the ultimate dilemma.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm on the toilet, and I just start spewing all over the bathroom floor. Not only takes up my stall, but the stalls on either side of me. Someone even came in and was like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm great. I'm doing fine. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Funny you should ask. I'm feeling better than ever.
Yeah, there's very few times in life where you really just don't want assistance from anyone.
Yeah, puking's one of them.
Puking is the only one I know for a fact that is consistent. Like where
that and getting hit in the jewels.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone. Those are the two times where you don't want sympathy. I don't need you around. Like, just leave me alone. Did you even make an attempt to tuck your face between your legs and spew in the toilet?
No, apparently not if it went over the...
Oh, no. I was not going to ruin my clothes. I was dressed very fancy for that presentation.
Did you do the presentation?
You're in there pooping and puking I was very fancy.
You did not do the presentation?
So once I thought I was all right, I left the bathroom and I head to the nurse's office. I throw up while talking to the nurse in her trash can next to her desk. I get into the nurse's office and I throw up in her bathroom all over the floor because I had the same choice of either puking in the toilet or doing my business in the toilet.
Were you still pooping too? So you're like full on food poisoning. So you're in the nurse's bathroom bombing that thing back to the Stone Ages, and then for good measure you puke all over the inside of it.
So how many times did you puke in the school? Like 4 different times?
Yeah, 3 or 4 times.
All right. And you graduated, no problem? Everything with honors, probably? Okay.
What do you do now? I'm curious.
I was a game tester for Microsoft for a little while, but right now I'm working at IHOP for school because it's close to home.
Would you say you're working at a school?
Oh, no, I'm working at IHOP.
You're working at IHOP?
Come on, man, be careful. I understand any place that serves breakfast 24 hours apparently leads to violence.
Did you hear what happened in the IHOP in Memphis, Tennessee?
No, what happened?
Oh, 5 girls just beat the living hell out of the manager there, man. They're throwing plates at him. They threw a chair.
There's a video of it. Just do yourself a favor. Google Memphis IHOP when we're done with this phone call, and you might rethink where you're working.
Could you get a name badge that says Eileen just to wear it for a day?
I think I could, actually.
All right, cool.
Go ahead, do it for us.
Just see if anyone gets the joke.
I don't know what it is, but if you serve breakfast all day, people are going to fight in your place.
I don't think I think it's a matter of when you're open.
This is 1:30 in the morning type stuff here.
Right. So that's always the thing. Those places generally are 24 hours, too.
Yeah.
By the way, what's the limit on somebody puking? When you said, nobody wants you to be, like, bothering them.
Yeah.
But, like, if somebody's in your bathroom puking, like, I don't know.
Well, you got to ask them if they're okay.
After, like, 20 minutes or something, I'm going to be like, hey,
you
all right in there?
You do the welfare check.
Right.
You do the welfare, but you don't hang out with them,
I think it's during the when you hear the puking going on, you can't come up and like put your hand on someone's back and go, like, just get it out, buddy. Just like, leave me alone, I'm puking.
But I've definitely been in that situation for 20 minutes. Like, all right, I got to check on you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where the welfare check's good.
Definitely, absolutely. Still to come, the Drunk and Charge Ryan Castle's coming in to sit and spin, and we'll go back 30 years for the top 10 songs in the USA. Coming up, Ryan Castle, right after emails on our question, what is your infamous puke story? 844-999-OLA.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.